All right. Well, selling too soon can be hazardous to your returns, to your wealth. A little story about Netflix. I was an early buyer. I became a customer in the 2004, 2005-ish in time. And you can see the prices that I bought Netflix at, just unheard of at this point. Um, Although, when I bought them, the stock has split since then. So, it wasn't those prices that I bought it at. And I bought a bunch. 7 times there. And it also became, during that process, it became the number one holding in my portfolio at about 23%. And that really sort of freaked me out a little bit. I was still early in investing. And, as the stock ran up in 2009 and 2010 out of the financial crisis, it was really just taken off. The business was doing very, very well. And I got, there'd be a certain dollar amount that I was like, if it goes above this, I'm going to sell some. And it went above that. And I sold some down to that dollar amount, and then it went up again. So I did that for a little while. And then eventually it was just like, I can't deal with this anymore. The prices that I got were tremendous. I mean, there was gains all along the way. Some were, I think, close to even a 20 bagger along the way. But you guys know what happened to Netflix since then. Just absolutely incredible run. And this was a multi-million-dollar mistake. And, had I even just kept a few shares, I would have been much better off today. So,
oof, start with the painful ones right out of the gate, huh?
Yeah, get that one out of the way.
Yeah. Now let me ask this, Brian. Obviously, knowing what you know now, you would go back and put 100% of your portfolio in Netflix and make it the only stock that you own again and again and again.
Yeah.
That's the wonderful thing about hindsight, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you can see even after I sold out, here was the Quickster debacle. I missed that whole thing altogether. I can't imagine holding through that. And even, some of these gyrations in here, Netflix has been a tough one to hold with, if you watch it too often. So.
Well, let me ask you this. So this was 23% of your portfolio in 2007.
Yeah.
Again, doing nothing was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this be 99% of your portfolio now?
Yeah. It's these holdings eclipsed my entire portfolio by at least double.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, I 100% agree with the lesson there, but there's also the risk balancing. We're looking at this with the benefit of hindsight and saying, obviously, should have just held. When you're going through day by day, it's tricky. But I'm going to revision this lesson later.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me, I totally get trimming a large position, and I know if it had climbed up to 50 and 75% of my portfolio, I never would have been able to hold that. But the fact that I sold out everything altogether, I think that was really the waste in that one.
All right. Well, Brian bared his soul about his worst investing decisions. Here's mine. I bought American Tower at 60.
Sold it at 60.
Excuse me. Yes. I bought American Tower at like 20, 25, 30. And I think on Motley Fool recommendation, it went to 60. Brian had a high price to earnings ratio. I was like, time to get out of this thing. Thesis done. And then it four-bagged. The worst mistake I ever made is with Dexcom. With my previous job, I had a ton of exposure to Dexcom. I saw its product firsthand. I saw how fast that it was selling, and I bought a couple of shares, and then I sold them later that same year at a 20% profit. Oops. Because that has been a 60 bagger, 50 bagger since selling. I've made the same mistake with Microsoft. Microsoft is an 8 bagger from when I sold it. I mean, that's a remarkable thing to say. Microsoft, because that was like 2012, 2011 that I sold it. Something like that. Paychex, Insulet, and Waste Management. So patience is your biggest edge.
Yeah. Do you own Dexcom now?
I don't.
Yeah, nope. My sister recently bought some just because it's it's doing all sorts of pioneering stuff and still has plenty of runway.
Agreed. It's interesting. It's a super fast growing company. That to me, Dexcom is one of the Dexcom is my example of when expertise can be a bad thing. Because I know all of the reasons that I know Dexcom's competition so well, and I know all of the reasons that it shouldn't work, that I've never been interested in rebuying, and I should have. Because of my expertise in diabetes, I also missed Livongo.
Oh,
I listened to some industry insiders who were like, this is like snake oil salesman. This business model has been tried. It doesn't work. Livongo was like an 8-bagger in 7 months.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. So that's where expertise can work around you. But the key point here is your biggest edge as an individual investor is patience. And it's a massive edge that you have over the rest of investors. You are not beholden to anybody else. So you do not have to buy or sell on any given time frame other than your own. So patience is your biggest edge. If you found a high quality company, just own it.
There you go. Yeah, and be patient not to lock in gains or even just, sell that and move on to something else, right?
That's right.